Hello and welcome. My name's Kathy A, and yes, it's the same Kathy A from 2013. I just have a new channel here. My original channel is still on here, but it is not in control by me. So this is my new channel. It has to replace using a channel on YouTube. So if I want to stay on YouTube, this is where I am. Anyway, drama right at the start, my goodness. Anyway, this particular video is going to be all my top 3 favorites from each category in the makeup division. And if you want to see like households or hair or skincare stuff, just let me know in the comments and I will do that as well. But this is just for this year, for 2025 in the summertime, what is actually in my collection now, my top 3 favorites in each category. It was kind of hard to choose some of them because, especially with eye palettes, things like that, you know, narrowing it down to 3 is really hard. So I actually had to do kind of a cheat there. But anyway, let's get started right away. So I think one of the most important parts of makeup is skincare, and I think if you have good skincare, the makeup will go on so much better. So, you know, you really do need to have a good cleanser, a good moisturizer, a sunscreen that will work underneath makeup, and there are lots of them out there. And then when I get to the makeup table, which is usually about a half an hour after I've done my skincare, there's a couple of different things I use first before I do the makeup. One of them is using a primer, and this is kind of my primer alternative. This is rosehip oil, just a couple drops in with a squirt of this, the Thirst Burst drops from e.l.f. I just mix them together and I pat this all over my face, and then I'll wait about 20 minutes. I'll go have my coffee, I'll go check emails or whatever, and I will, you know, just kill time for a little while for at least 10 minutes. There is an eye primer that I like to use also. This helps keep the skin of my lids is a little bit discolored in places. It can get a little oily, it's a little dry in places. So if you put a primer on, much like the spackling on your face, this can help with your eyelids so that they'll hold the eyeshadow better and help it extend longer. And in some cases it makes the eyeshadow look better, especially if it's a slight tint. And these two are favorite solids of mine. This one is from Morphe. This is fairly new. This is their new eye base, and I think they're supposed to be imitating the MAC one. It's basically hard in the pot, and when you put that on your lid and blend it in, you just need a little. You blend it in, I tap it in so that it's not smeary, and that works really nice as an under makeup base, and that is Morphe, and I have the shade up here. They have several shades of it, so if you're of a deeper skin tone than me, you may find a shade that will work well for you. And what it was imitating is kind of a classic. This is the MAC paint pot. These were meant to be eyeshadow bases as well, but they are used pretty much like primers, and I believe they reformulated these to include holding ingredients so that they would act more as a primer rather than just an eyeshadow base. So they were listening to their fans. This one is Painterly is the name of the color. It's kind of a dark beigey color, and that works nicely as well. So these two are the solids. For liquids, I do like the Pro Conceal in the light pink. This is from LA Girl. These are the HD Pro concealers. These have a little brush on them, but you can just brush a little bit. I like the light pink one, just a teeny bit, and again, same idea. It will cancel out discolorations on your eyelids and also brighten up things, and when you put eyeshadow over the top of them, it works really nicely. So these two are pretty much what I would call drugstore, and this MAC is MAC, you know, and MAC is a classic that should never go out of style. For lip balms, I have 3. My more expensive one is the Ulla Henriksen. And he is a guy who has wonderful skincare items. This is the Pout Preserve Peptide Lip Treatment. And this comes in a lot of different flavors. He just got some new flavors in as well. And I think he's got a version that has a glow tint to it. These really don't have a tint per se. It's really just a treatment for your lips that makes them look kind of shiny and hydrated. This is very, very nice. It is a little expensive. On the lesser side, this is Emco Beauty, and this is their variant of the Boom Boom stuff. This is number 2, which is supposed to be like 62. And this balm is very hydrating, very pleasant. I like to put a lip balm on before the rest of my makeup to help get my lips hydrated for the lipstick portion. And I will take the balm off before I put the lipstick on, but I like to have it on during my application. And then this kind of came out of nowhere from the Black Radiance section, which kind of fun looking in there. The eyeshadow palettes are really cool. Some of the lipsticks can work. And this is a lip balm. This is the lightest shade that they had. And let me just see what this color was. This is Kissable Bisou. Bisou or Kissable. And this looks like a regular lipstick kind of thing. And it gives you a little bit of color as well as your hydration. Gives you a little bit of color as well as hydration. So something like this is great to have in your handbag or at work where you just need a little bit of moisture, color. You don't want to be too pale because as we age, our lips just go pale and they disappear. They go right inside our mouth or something. But this is really nice, and from Black Radiance. I thought that was really, really nice. For concealer, I have 2 here, and I have one on order because I remembered I really loved it at one point, and I ordered it. It hasn't come in yet. I will talk about these 2. I love them. This is fairly new to me. This is the Estee Lauder concealer, the Double Wear Concealer, which really hard to pick a shade in this, but I did get one that wasn't too light. I think this is 1N1, and I wear 2N2 for my foundation color from Estee Lauder, and 1N1 I thought would be a lighter shade. But I should have gotten something in between those 2 shades because this is just slightly light, works really well, holds, it does not crease or crack, look really bad. And I think a lot of that is your application method too. How you put on your concealer and how you set it really can make a difference in how it works throughout the day and how it breaks down. The other one is Tower 28, and this is a kind of a natural brand. I got a deeper shade in this one. I think this is 4. And this blends so nicely. It's just slightly lighter than my natural skin tone, and I think that's the best way to get a concealer, is to get just a slightly lighter shade than your skin tone. You don't want to go too light. You can see the difference in these 2. There's just a slight shade difference. I really prefer to go just a little bit deeper with a concealer. Don't go too light. That's an old school thing. I go really light under your eyes to brighten them, but it actually can bring attention to a lot of the things that are wrong. You know, a lot of the things that are sticking out that you don't want to stick out. So I would suggest getting a closer shade to your natural one, maybe just a half shade lighter than your natural skin tone for your concealer, and then for your foundation I would go like a half shade deeper. So you've got these 2 things working for you. So Tower 28 and Estee Lauder Double Wear. Runner-up here is the Pro Conceal from LA Girl again. I think this works really nicely. It's such a versatile product, you know, especially around the lips where I have a lot of lines and damage and stuff. This works really well. This covers well. It lasts well. I think this is kind of a hidden gem in the drugstore. And I have, let me see what shade this is. This is shade Buff. And And then this light one, I think is called just Pink. Cool Pink Corrector. And then I have a deeper one too. If I have a foundation or a concealer that's too light or dark, I will correct them with these. And this one is a slightly deeper shade. This is Peach Corrector. And this I'll put into something that's too light and it makes it the right color for me. So between the pink and the deeper shades, I use those as correctors, and then I use this as a concealer sometimes when I don't want to use the expensive stuff, or you know, it's weird how you just feel like using a different product each day. I don't know. It's a makeup thing. Very girly of me. Going into foundation, I love these, and I've gotten a couple of them because I like to mix the shades. I'm between these two shades, 20 and 23 right now, two shades. And this is the e.l.f. This Soft Glam foundation. What a wonderful product this is from the drugstore. There's quite a difference in color between the 3 and the 20 and the 23. You'll see the difference there. Yeah, there's quite a bit of difference, but when you mix the two of them together, you can create a wonderful shade for yourself. I know we're picky about, you know, brands not having the right shades and all that, but you know, if you can get two shades that mix together to make that, you've got twice as much product, actually. So it's not like you paid twice for one product. You've got enough product there to equal two packages, so it's not such a bad thing. The second foundation I'm really enjoying, and I've enjoyed this since it came out really, Ulta Beauty Complexion Crush Foundation. I've got a deeper shade than I should have. I think this is the Cool Light. And this one, it tends to run a little bit dark, and it comes a little bit warm as well. So the Cool Light actually is not very neutral. It looks more warm than neutral. But I do like that. So I tend to go with the cool shades in this. I am a neutral to neutral warm shade of skin. The last foundation, I love this. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear. And yes, used sparingly and over a well moisturized face. This will last all day. It doesn't break down. This is the stuff of dreams for the makeup industry, and it is considered the #1 selling foundation in the US. And there's a reason for that. I mean, it really works nicely. And those of you who maybe tried it before when you had crummy skincare, like a lot of us didn't care about our skin. It wasn't part of our growing up in the 60s and 70s. You were lucky to put a moisturizer on, and we didn't really have good skincare practices in the 60s and 70s. We just didn't have that kind of knowledge. And the products that have been coming out with very, very skin-friendly ingredients that help neutralize things, help puff things out, help hydrate, we didn't have those in the past. And I think a lot of people just got used to not making a skincare routine up, whereas now I think a lot of us have kind of adopted a couple of products in we wouldn't have used maybe 30 years ago. So if you have a well-hydrated skin, this works really nicely over the top. And again, your application method can so make a difference in how these things wear through the day and how they look. But this is tried and true, proven not just by me, but millions of other people. For base powder, I have 3. The press #1 for me is the CoverGirl. This is the Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Press Powder. This can be a standalone foundation, a powder foundation standalone. I used it a lot this summer. In fact, this particular, I hit pan on this one. I do have a backup. But I hit pan on this, and there's a reason for that. I absolutely love this. If you haven't tried this, you know, just lightly kind of brush it, or you can puff it onto your face. Give it a try and see what you think. I have shade 210, and again, I'm kind of a light, if you had 3 degrees of lightness, I'm in the between the second and third degree of lightness for light color skin. So this is 210, is perfect for me. The next shade up I think is 215. And then it goes to 225 or something. That's a little bit too deep, and I did get that by accident, and I had to kind of use it with this and kind of mix them together when I was getting a little more color on my face and skin from outside. It's summertime here right now. But this is wonderful. CoverGirl, Simply Ageless, Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder. And it just does such a wonderful job of smoothing out your face without looking cakey and dry. Really, really good product. The next one is Emco Beauty, Australian company. They got into a little bit of heat because they imitate famous products, but that's because they have a hard time getting those famous products in Australia, so they made their own versions. I'm not going to get into the drama of the debate of that. I'm just going to say that I like this company, and I think they were being very resourceful in a time of need, and that the women and men in Australia who are looking for makeup products and can't find them anywhere, this was a godsend to them. So their pressed powder, by the way, this is the one that looks a lot like Charlotte Tilbury's pressed powder. I like this one. Almost, I think I like it better than Charlotte Tilbury's. And Charlotte Tilbury's is so expensive. This runs around $9–10, and I have the light shade here. It's very, very smooth. It's great for setting under the eyes. It's just beautiful. It's a really nice pressed powder. I think it's kind of an elegant rose gold packaging. Pretty good. The third of the pressed powders is Hourglass, and I just have the little ones. I use the little ones because I use them so seldom. This is what you would call a finishing powder, and this is something that would just kind of meld all of your makeup together and smooth things out so that there's no harsh lines in between the different products you've used on your face, and it gives you a kind of a healthy glow. Not a shine, but a healthy glow. So this one is actually called Diffused Light, and I just get the little ones. And at holiday time, they always have some kind of a special tray of different things, but I actually just like getting the little singles of the ones that I actually like and use. Going into blushes, one of my top favorite blushes of this year has been IT Cosmetics, and this is the Sun Blush. And this is the shade Sunlight. It's so pretty and natural, and when you sheer it out, it lasts all day. It's just a really pretty cream blush. I learned about this from I think the Lipstick Lesbians, Christina. I think they call themselves the Lipstick Lesbians. She was and probably is, a big wig in the cosmetic industry as far as creating and knowing all of the processes for how makeup is created. And so she loves this blush, and I was curious about it. I wouldn't normally go to the IT Cosmetics counter. I think they had their day and it ended in 2016, but I do like this blush so much, and it's a cream blush. This is going to last me quite a while, although cream products generally have like a 2-year lifespan before you have to say goodbye to them. So, and I've made a bit of a dip in it. I think it's a wonderful blush. So it's my favorite of the cream blushes. Also, this is the LA Girl. This is the cream blush in a tube. And again, I would put this out on another surface like my hand, and then I would use a brush to pick it up with. But this is also a really pretty cream blush, and that blends out. Looks like I have a type here, huh? This blends out almost as nicely as this one does. And I mean, they look almost identical. That's so funny. I really do have a type, I guess. The third cream blush that I really love is this. It's kind of a cream mousse formula. This is from Rare Beauty. This is the Bouncy blush, and this is the shade Hope. I'm wearing this today, and I really do love it. I think it's got a wonderful texture to it. It lasts nicely. Happy, I think, is the other shade that's kind of in the range that I would like to use. This one I think is slightly warmer tone than the Happy shade, but this has a kind of a cushiony cream feel, and I think it just is so pretty, so beautiful. And her products are really nice. I really am enjoying Selena's products here. So Rare Beauty, and then this is the Bouncy, what do they call it? Matte Bouncy Blush. They do have some shimmery ones, but I prefer a matte blush, and then I'll use kind of a highlighter over the top of that in a very pronounced way where I want the shimmer to be. I don't want shimmer all over my face. I never like that. For powder blushes, I have a couple, 3 here. This is Elizabeth Arden. And this is a really lovely, very, very, very natural looking, everyday, can wear it to work kind of blush. And there is a little bit of a slight glow to it. This shade is called Tea Rose number 8. And this is Elizabeth Arden, which, you know, packaging, outstanding. Once I get my fingerprints off of it. Yeah, Elizabeth Arden. And I found this in like a TJ Maxx or a Marshalls. It works really well. It doesn't seem like it's old. And I think I spent, I don't know, $6 or $7 for it. So have a look. And TJ Maxx and Marshalls are starting to get a lot of makeup in. I think a lot of that has to do with reformulations for talc. They're removing talc, so they're getting rid of their older product lines and coming out with newer lines without talc in them. And this might be one of the cases where there was nothing wrong with the product, it's just that they're revamping the line. So that's something to think of. There's a lot of NARS right now in the in TJ Maxx and Marshalls also. This is Behave. I think I actually bought this before last Christmas. So I've had this for a little while. I made a little bit of a dent in it. It's a pale, natural shade. Again, I work in a very conservative office and I can't like really doll up. So, I mean, for them, I'm the only one dolled up in the office, but, you know, not as bad as it could be. It could be really disco, if you know what I mean. And Laura Mercier, this is a classic. It's called Chai. And Chai is a kind of a natural sunburn shade, and you can't, it's hard to describe it. It doesn't look like anything in the pan, but on your face you have such a natural flushed glow, like you were out in the sun a little bit, which, you know, it doesn't happen a lot with me, but that's Laura Mercier, and I think that's a classic. So those are my 3 favorite powder blushes. Runner-up, of course, Milani Luminoso, which is supposed to be a lot like NARS Orgasm, but yeah. Let me just put a little more blush on. This is really nice. It is like a NARS Orgasm type of shade. I believe this one's a little bit pinker than the Orgasm shade from NARS, but that's a runner-up for me. For bronzer, I have 2 creams and 1 powder bronzer. I think that the cream bronzer in these lifter sticks from Maybelline, this one I believe is shade 35, and this is a beautiful light, kind of a contoury kind of shade, so you can do some dimensional work on your face. This blends very nicely, but I didn't care for the lighter shades or the foundation color shades at all. I thought they sat on my skin a little bit funny, so I like This one though, for some reason the bronzer worked for me. So maybe because of the way I have to place it, it's not blending, it's not under my eyes. But I wouldn't recommend the lifter sticks in the lighter shades or the highlight shades. And then I have, for my favorite cream bronzer, this is the Milani. This is shade 110 Hey Honey. And I believe these are the Cheek Kiss bronzers. And these blend like high-end products. This is from Milani too. This is another drugstore gem. My other favorite bronzer is a powder bronzer, and it is from L'Oreal. And I'm not a fan of L'Oreal as a company. I think they're evil. But they own most of the, a lot of the drugstore companies are owned by L'Oreal. They are a mothership to many companies and some high-end companies as well. I do like the bronzer, and I do have, I believe this is the light shade Light 250, and this has served me well through spring and summer. There's hardly a dent in it because you get a lot of product in here. Really, really nice bronzer. For highlighters, I actually only have two that I'm using right now because I can find different highlighters in other places. You can use shimmery eyeshadow shades. You can find it in face palettes. I just think that it's one of those things that you can find in so many places. There's no need to spend a lot of money on one. I can't imagine any one highlighter being worth it. So I have two here that are drugstore. This is the W7 Afterglow Shimmer Palette, and just look at the beautiful shades here. You can see them. Really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see. If I can do a stripe, nope, can't do a stripe line. But if you want a little bit of color, you can do this kind of oil painting thing where you get not a goldy or a silvery shimmer, but you're more of a pale pink or pale coral, pale yellow, and then you can still get that white, you know, see it from outer space NASA thing if you really want it. I think this is like the perfect all-around shimmer palette, and it's from W7 and it's called Afterglow. Of course, this is a classic. I have had this shimmer for years. I do get rid of them after a couple years and buy a new one to replace it. This one I've had to dig into it with my putty knife thing to get the hard pan off, but I love this. This is Essence Pure Nude, and this one is the perfect one if you are over 60 like me. You get a glow, but it's not shimmery, glittery, over the top kind of thing, and you don't get the green sheen, which I hate the green sheen, or the pinky sheen. I don't like those kinds of, you know, when they go pinky blue or greenish yellow. It looks too spaceman for me, but I do like this. So these two are just perfect. You don't need to spend a lot of money on a highlighter. It's kind of ridiculous, actually, to do that. So these two are great for highlights. For face palettes, and I had to make this a category because I just picked this up from Bisou. Now Bisou is a Mexican company. They're kind of like what L'Oreal or Maybelline is in the US. Bisou is to Mexico. They are like their #1 drugstore brands, and they've got very high quality cosmetics. It's hard for me to right now to get a hold of a lot of the different products, but I wanted to do a full face of Bisou. And they keep selling out of the white girl shades of the makeup, so the foundation and concealer, I'm having a hard time getting the white girl shades. So as soon as I can get everything organized, I will do a full face of Bisou. But these are wonderful. You get two, they have two sets. They have one for deeper skin tones and one for lighter. This is the light white girl one. Okay, well, everything's in Spanish, so I don't know what it's called. We have two beautiful highlights at the bottom, and then we have two beautiful blushes in the middle, and then we have a shimmer and a matte bronzer. Absolutely beautiful. And this face palette's very inexpensive. It's under $15. And it's from Bisou. And they have two versions. You'll see a darker and a lighter shade. This is the lighter one, whatever it's called. And I've got to learn Spanish. You know, I don't know why I put it off for so long, but I really feel like I'm missing out. I work in a place where some of our field guys at where I work, we have a lot of people who do landscaping and stuff, and a lot of them speak Spanish. And I sure wish I could communicate better with them. The second face palette is kind of a true all over face palette. This is face and eyes, and this is from Rouge Cosmetics. This is the Nude York palette. Those of you who've watched me are no stranger to this because it's won about 5 years in a row for my favorite palette of all time. You've got a beautiful eyeshadow palette that has shimmers and mattes, and you've got your full face of highlighter, blush, bronzer, contoury kind of thing. So I absolutely love this. The New Orleans one is more cool toned and pinky toned. I wasn't as crazy about that one. This one is perfect. Also, I was recently in a discount store and they had a bunch of Profusion beauty books. And this is the Eye and Face Beauty book. And this has an unusual assortment of colors. You have really nice summer into autumn shades, which I think a lot of eyeshadow palettes are seasonal. There are some things you like in the winter and some things you like in spring, some in summer and some in autumn. And this is like summer to autumn to me. You have kind of, it's more of a subtle highlighter, and this is more for a variety of skin tones. I think that's what they were thinking of. And then you've got this kind of neutral warm pink for your face, and then you've got kind of a medium to medium deep bronzer that you can use. If you use it sparingly, you can use it on lighter skin tones. You can also use these as eyeshadows. And then you've got these beautiful eyeshadows up here. So this is the beauty book, so it's kind of face and eyes, and I think that's really nice. There are three that I enjoy for eyebrow pencils, and these are usually will have a spoolie at one end and a pencil at the other. And this is LA Girl Shady Slim, LA Girl Shady Slim in soft brown, I believe. And then this is Rare Beauty. And this one, she really knocked it out of the park getting the color right. I really liked the coloring on this, but it wasn't a real sharp kind of pencil that could make tiny little hairlines, but it was a beautiful color. And I really enjoy her products. It's very, very high quality. I think my favorite brow pencil is the NYX. This is the NYX Micro Brow, the taupe shade, or the ash blonde. Works really nicely. I think I run out of product too fast on this, and that's why I'm not as keen on it as I want to be. But those are the three that I really enjoy using. And now, you know, we never thought about it when we were younger, but brows have like several steps now. So you do the pencil, but now they've got this thing called the tinted brow gel. And if you've got gray hair, and I have a lot of gray hair in my eyebrows, and I'm not going gray. I'm still light brown, you know, blondie kind of person. So I like to have a little bit of color. So this is actually from Emco Beauty, and this is a really nice, pretty taupe color. You just rub it through, and it will coat the coloring onto your eyebrows. Now this is fairly new to me. This is Maybelline Sherlock, I think it's Super Lock. This does the same thing. This is the taupe shade, Same thing. I think this one actually made my brows a little bushier looking, which I kind of liked because I don't have very much brows. I plucked out most of my brows in the 70s for disco, and I never really paid much attention to them, except if I saw stray hairs, I would, make sure everything was gone. So having eyebrows is kind of an unusual thing for a lot of us who are, at peak 20s and 30s in the 70s and 80s. Having large brows to us seems almost unkempt and unhygienic. So you have to get out of that mindset because it actually looks good and it frames your eyes better. For clear gels, now this is something if you want to laminate your brows, this is another step if you want to do it. This is the MCO Beauty brow lamination. It's this white muck. You stick it on your brows like this, and then you pull off the top, and there's a comb on one side, a brush on the other. You comb your brows into place, turn around to the brush, and you flatten it to your skin with the brush. Did you see what that just did? Isn't that cool? That is the brow laminate set from MCO Beauty. You can find MCO Beauty in Target, and you can get it online. I love, and their website is wonderful, and they send it fairly quickly. Within a week and a half, you'll get it. But I mean, it just really gives a lot of order to the brows. Also, if you use a spoolie, I bend it in half like this. You can use this e.l.f. gel. This is clear. It does the same kind of thing, where you stick it in there and then you push it against your brows up so that they go up in a similar fashion. I actually prefer the MCO Beauty one for this type of process, but if you're not able to get MCO Beauty where you are, this e.l.f. one with a spoolie, and what I do is I bend the spoolie. It comes straight, and then I bend it down like this so I can easily dip it in there. And I wash these after every time. I don't keep any of my brushes after I use them. I will wash everything. I don't know why I needed to tell you that, but all right. Eyeshadow palettes. Oh, this was polarizing for me. It really was. Okay, so let's do it by neutral, warm, neutral, cool, and then colorful. How's that? Okay, and so that way I only have like 2 in each category. So for my warm, I have slightly neutral to warm skin tone, and I tend to be more attracted to the neutral to warm eyeshadows for my neutral looks, everyday looks. This one is from ColourPop, and it's called Going Coconuts. And this is a really lovely, lovely palette. It's got some shimmers in there. It's got some mattes. I like to make sure that any palette I have has a light shade for my lid, a medium shade, and they have 2 choices here for the crease area, the crease, just above the crease, and then a deeper shade for the ends, for the outer corners, they call it. And they've got in the middle here and over, they've got shimmery shades. So this is like the perfect everyday kind of palette, and the shadows work nicely. The formulas are nice. It's not all glittery or anything. I don't like glitter, and I think this is a wonderful palette. It's called Going Coconuts from ColourPop, and this is my favorite kind of small mid-size neutral palette. This one is You Can Be, and You Can Be is on Amazon. You can get that on Amazon. A lot of these houses make the eyeshadows that you find in more expensive palettes, and they contract out to make things. So the You Can Be is made from some of the same eyeshadows that you can find in a lot of high-end makeup palettes. This particular one is called the Supreme Seductress. And what I like about this is it's got such a variety of warm neutrals and some shimmers there. And this is the perfect autumn palette to me. because it's got all my golds and warm tones and browns that I'd be interested in. Little pop of blue up there, just for fun, the end of summer. And there's a black there, and you can always use some of these eyeshadows with a little water on a skinny little brush. You can make eyeliner out of them. So I really like this palette a lot from You Can Be. So those are my two favorite warm tone palettes. For cool tone palettes, there are two here. I have Natasha Denona Glam palette, which is a beautiful nude in a cool tone neutral sense. Absolutely beautiful shades. Formulation's usually nice. I found a lot of these shades look very similar. So, I mean, the quality is nice, but you can try 3 or 4 of these shades. They'll look exactly the same on your eye. But I like a lot of the shades, and I use a lot of these shades sparingly. I will use one shade as an accent or another shade for a crease color or something. So I borrow different shades out of this one. As far as making one cohesive eye look, you can, but it's very, very cool toned. So those of you who like cool tone shadows, this is a wonderful palette. For the budget minded, this is kind of a similar idea, but this can be a little more neutral, and there's actually some slightly warmer tones in here as well. This is ColourPop's Stone Cold Fox. This is my third one I think I've had of this. I tend to use certain shades a lot, and then I hit pan on them, and then some of the other shades I don't use, but I think this has a good variety every day. If you're neutral to cool toned, and actually as a warm toned person, I find this very useful also. I can use most of the stuff here. There's some area here that's warm, and so there's very doable shades in this palette for pretty much everybody. And they do have dark grays, blacks, dark browns. They do have silvers if you want to do that. So I think that this Stone Cold Fox is one of the better of the cool tone and neutral tone palettes. For colors, this is probably one of my favorite all-around palettes of everything. This is called the Exotic Flavors palette from You Can Be. Again, the Amazon brand. And I know that they pull a lot of their eyeshadows from high-end factories and manufacturers, because the formulations on these are amazing. Now I have a lot of silver pans here, and I took them out because they were glitter shades. I don't wear glitter on my eyes. I just think it's bad for eye health in general. It's bad for the environment, so I don't use them. But they do have shimmer shades, satin shades, and matte shades. And anytime you have a purple or a blue mood or pink or a green mood, you've got the shade in here. Plus they've got a whole division here. This whole bottom row is all neutrals. You can do your neutral eye. So you have your light shade, your medium shade, and your deeper shade for the corners. You have, you know, autumn shades, you have spring shades. This is like the perfect all year long palette, and I love this. You have neon shades up top if you really want to go wild. So this is Exotic Flavors from You Can Be. This is probably my favorite all-around palette, #1, and it has won my best of the year several years in a row. I think this past year was the first year it did not, but I really like this palette. For other color palettes, you can still get this on Amazon, but it was somewhat of a limited edition from ColourPop. This is the Twilight palette, and they had a couple different versions of the Twilight palette. This has some nice sea greens and blues, some really beautiful shimmer shades. I use this palette a lot more than I ever imagined I would. I was like, blue eyeshadow, green eyeshadow, I don't know. But you know, just a little accent color, absolutely beautiful. This is a great bargain. I think on Amazon you can get it for 10 bucks or something underneath. It's absolutely beautiful. The Twilight, based on the film, I think it's just beautiful. And from Rude Cosmetics, this is my warmer tone colorful palette. This is the Roaring 20s, and you can get this from Rude Cosmetics. It's an interesting line. So you've got, this is a beautiful August in September, October kind of palette, because you've got all your warm tones, your reds, burgundies. There's lots of shimmers in here. This is a real dressy, colorful palette. So you can use this as an accent to some of the matte shades in the other palette. And, you know, I take from different palettes. I don't feel like just because this palette is here, I can't take from any other palette. There's not the rules. Those aren't the rules, okay? You make your own rules with makeup. It's your makeup. You're in charge. Okay, for eyeliners, I have a few here. One of my favorites is from Halsey's line, and she has a makeup line called About Face. Now, it's featured in Ulta. It's on the, I call it the street side of Ulta, which is the drugstore side, but I think the pricing on this is a little higher than regular drugstore. I believe this is All About Ambrosia is the name of this particular shade. I am wearing it under my eyes at this time. I don't put anything in the waterline. Again, eye health is really important. As you get into your 60s and 70s, please don't put stuff in your waterline. Please don't. There's a lot of really important blood vessels and there's oil glands and things like that underneath your eyelid where you, and if you put stuff on your waterline, it's seeping down in there. You could wind up with glitter in your eyeball area. You can cause a lot of eye damage, and there is a YouTube video of a girl who got glitter stuck behind her eye, and she had an awful time she had to go to the ER, and they had to remove it, and it was very painful for her, and she was doing it as a warning for people not to put glitter around their eyes, and it was enough to show me I'm not going to do it, besides the environmental impact. So this is a beautiful shimmer shade in the About Face, in the About Face line. I really like it. It's one of my favorites from her. I have two from Milani. One is the dark brown shade. This is called Semi-Sweet. And then I have the black shade, which is called After Dark. So Semi-Sweet is like the perfect, if you're going to do a wing or, you know, do something in the corner. This is a beautiful liner. I don't do anything under, or I don't do the whole eye or anything like that in liner, but this is a really nice one. The other side, you do have like a sponge and a sharpener. So the Semi-Sweet from Milani, and then the After Dark. This I will use up, looking up. You can put it in your upper, next to your lashes, from the bottom, hitting your lashes from the bottom, and it adds something. You're not eyelining, you're just kind of hitting between your lashes, so it gives you a little bit more definition. Yeah, I like to wipe things off after I have them in my eye. Gives you a little more definition for your eyes when you do something like that. So and for another color, I love this silvery gray. This is so pretty. This is like a midnight silvery color. Let me just see what this is called. This is Laura Geller, and it's Incredible in Brown Sugar. It's called Brown Sugar. Once it's there, it pretty well stays. And it's really hard to get this off once you've got it on there. Brown Sugar from Laura Geller. Yeah. For mascara, this is new to me this year, and it is from Revolution Beauty. This is called Wrap Lash, and this is their version of a tubing mascara. I have the black and the brown. Unfortunately, the brown did not do it for me. If you have brown eyebrows, you may like the brown mascara on your eyebrows. as a trick. This is wonderful, this wrap lash. It does not leave dings, it doesn't smear, it doesn't flake. This is a wonderful mascara, and it rivals my other favorite, which is Thrive Cosmetics Lash Extensions. Yeah, these two are pretty much even Steven with me. The pricing on this is around $12 to $14. This runs, I think, around $26. So it's almost twice the price. Ethically, I still like to support Thrive because they do a lot of give back to the community, and especially in this day and time, companies that give back to the community, I really want to help support them. So, but the mascara is so similar. It's so similar. And if you haven't tried Wrap Lash, you can get this where they sell Revolution Beauty makeup. Ulta has it, Target has it, you can get it online. I've seen it online, I think for $12 on Amazon. The other mascara I love is this one from Maybelline. It's called Sky High. And I have Blackest Black. I wanted a black brown mascara, and they did have it, but they only have that color in waterproof. So, and I don't think the waterproof formula is as good as the regular. So what I do is I'll put this on first and then put the waterproof over the top of it so I can get my black brown color. It's so close to black though, it really doesn't make all that much difference. So just the regular Sky High in Blackest Black, absolutely wonderful. I'm not wearing them today, but false lashes, they're really not in vogue right now, I guess. We're getting away from the 2016 look, but maybe it'll come back. You never know. My favorite is this Ardell multi-kit, and this has, and it's called Naked My Way. It has 421s, and then it has 3/4, half, and clusters all in one. So you can try different types of lashes if you've never used them before. This is a great starter kit for you, and it gives you an opportunity to try them. My favorites are the 420s. They're a little bit less long than they're just a little bit shorter than these, which are the, I believe, 421s. Yeah, 421s are a little bit bigger than the 420s. 420s are very natural looking. You can cut them in half and just use a half on each side. These are wonderful lashes. They're also from Ardell, the Naked Lash series that they have. So for lash glues, I actually like, for Ardell, I like both the black and the clear, which is, it goes on white and dries clear. The black is nice for adding a little bit of body to in between your lashes, but it can be very messy. So this is really, once you're a little more experienced with application, then the black would be your choice. But I think the clear is probably your best choice, because if you make a mess, it's not as you can't see it as well. But that's the Ardell Lash Grip, I believe it's called. Yeah, Lash Grip. And clear or black, they both work as well. But again, I would start with the clear if I was new to putting on false lashes. Now this is for the lashes that you press up underneath, but you can use it for regular lashes as well. And this is a duo from Falscara. You've got a seal and bond, so you want to bond them first and then seal them after, and they'll stay on, they won't fall off. These are really nice. It's a double-ended lash glue kind of situation. So these work really well, especially with those little clusters. If you want, you know, to put them on the top of them and then press them up on the ends, they will stay. And then I would hit the seal on the top of them, so that keeps it's almost like gluing them on, and it's safe for your eyes. So that's just another option. Okay, let's go into lips. We're almost there. I have three lip pencils I've been reaching for a lot. One of them is the Makeup Forever. This is Wherever Walnut. Now this is that dark color that you want to use to kind of add a little bit of body and lip where you don't have it shade. It does a shading color. It's really good to use a lip liner. As an older woman, my lips are disappearing a lot, so I like this Wherever Walnut. It's nice. From Bisou, this is their lip liner, and it's kind of a deeper natural shade. Again, you can create a fuller mouth by just kind of slightly overdrawing your lips. And the third one is from MAC, and this is Cool Spice. This is a classic natural lip, proven, you know, MAC lip stuff is just wonderful. For lipsticks, this is another area, kind of like the eyeshadows, where how can you compare a nude lipstick with a red lipstick? So I'm going to do categories. My favorite nudes for lipstick. I have three. One is Cream Cup. This is kind of a light, sort of pinky nude shade, and I think it looks really pretty. It's very subtle. It's really nice on, especially on an older person. It's very neutral. It used to be the bridal color, I think. All the brides used to wear Cream Cup. Now this is from Anastasia, and I believe this is called Peach Bud from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this is kind of a nudie peach shade. It's light enough that it's still in that nude kind of caliber, but it's more of a peachy shade. And that's Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this one is Untold Stories from Revlon. And this is a true neutral to warm leaning nude shade. This is Your Lips, but way the heck better. Untold Stories from Revlon. Going into the more peachy shades, because I like peachy coral shades. So for the peachy corals, so the peachy coral and red shades, I have three favorites. This one is Soft Silver Red from Revlon. This one is Sexy Sienna from Charlotte Tilbury. And this last one, it's called Peach Me from Revlon. It's a really nice, kind of a neutral. My favorite shade of lipstick for the summer from MAC, this is called Shanghai Spice. And this is the lipstick I've been wearing almost every day. I have a type with lipsticks too, I guess. I think this was a limited edition that they had, but it's still available. Shanghai Spice from MAC. My favorite lipstick this summer. For lip glosses, creams and lip glosses, this is the only cream lipstick that I actually like. This is called Feels from LA Colors. And it's a cross hybrid between a gloss and a lipstick. It's got enough pigmentation that it covers like a lipstick, but you've got that gloss on there. That's called Feels. This is from Essence. They make some of the best glosses in the drugstore. This is Candy Shop. There's a lot of shine there. It's really, really a nice product. It feels good on the lips. It's not a weird smell. Hard Candy has these. There's several different colors. They have kind of a purpley, a magenta, a brick red, a clear of this. These are the lip slides, and this one is, let me just see what this one is called. Pink Play, and it's from Hard Candy. Hard Candy used to be a high-end brand. They used to sell it in expensive stores. And then they made a deal with Walmart and they suddenly became a drugstore brand. I don't know how they did it. There's a quality to a lot of their products that, you know, gives you that indication that they really are a high-end brand. So this is Pink Play from Hard Candy. This is called Finish Line from Laura Mercier. This looks really nice over the nude shades especially. Finish Line from Laura Mercier. For perfumes, oh boy, I'm going to have to do them separately, I think, because I am going through these Middle Eastern perfumes. I have these stunning new perfumes that I'm trying, and they're still macerating. I have several different ones that I'm working on, and then some old favorites too. But I'll talk about perfumes, I think, in their own video, because I'm just not a perfume gal. I'm not going to work it into the makeup today. So, did anything match stuff that you've tried and liked? I don't know. Do you have different shades in some of these things that you like? Let me know in the comments. And if you want a perfume, hair care, skin care, top 3, I'd be happy to do it. Let me know in the comments. As always, I appreciate you watching, taking the time, and I do appreciate you. I love reading your comments. That's how I communicate with you now. I don't have an email or communication on YouTube right now for my own safety. Since they got into my other account, I'm paranoid they're going to get into this one. So anyway, I hope you're all having a wonderful summer. It's been very hot here, but we're starting to see trees turning and things like that, and autumn is kind of making a small debut. School starts here in a couple weeks in Connecticut, and the summer kind of flew by quickly, but I'm not a big fan of summer, so I don't mind that. But autumn time I'm looking forward to. So anyway, I hope you all are well. Play safe. Take care. Toodles.